It's not on you, my baby. I'm just not the right kind of girl for you. You deserve somebody who's loving you. You shouldn't call me later. Promise it's for the better. I'm just not the right kind of girl for you. Cause I got a rule. I hold on to my heart. Share with nobody. I don't want nobody else. Yeah, I hold on to my heart. Give it up for nobody. I just keep it to myself. I ain't got room for love. I don't need stars above. All I need is my precious space. Yeah, yeah.
Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment and comedic purposes. So let's get into it. Today I will be doing a recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 14, Chapter 2, Renew. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here. And she says, welcome to the Network Specialist chat. Please hit the like button, share, and join the conversation. Be a part of this YouTube family. All opinions are welcome, but please be respectful of others. Absolutely. Thanks for that, Mama Bees. Hey, TNTG Mom, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Mama Bees, for letting me know that you can hear me. So let's get started. And let me come right out the gate and speak on Charles Oakley and Angela. Angela thinks that she is going to get a different version of Charles because she is on a TV show. Okay? And that's just not going to happen. Angela knows exactly what she has in Charles, and he is just not that affectionate. He's not that type of guy. And he's not willing to fake it, okay, for a TV show. I am not saying that he doesn't love his wife, but he has that mindset that a lot of pro basketball players and ex-pro basketball players have, celebrities, whatever the case may be, the men in the entertainment business, that women come a dime a dozen and women can be bought and paid for. That's what Charles Oakley gives me. I feel like Angela will never leave this marriage, no matter how lonely she feels in her marriage, because she loves being able to say that she is married to Charles Oakley. Okay. These women are saying a lot by saying very little when they say that they didn't know that he was married. Read between the lines. That's because he probably carries himself like a single man. So when he ran into Angela again, I believe she said that they were living in the same apartment building. Hey, Sharon Gottball, thank you so much for being here. They were living in the same apartment building after he kind of ghosted her for 10 years, after he had probably been running around all those years, and he was getting older and he knew it was time to settle down so that someone could take care of his ass, when he's a senior citizen. Okay. And Angela was eager to take that on, because in her mind, she is the chosen one. For this man to not answer the phone, knowing that you are on a cast trip and they are filming, tells me everything I need to know. And then when she, said that she had called him the first day and he was cooking with the daughter, and he rushed her off the phone, knowing that that was their anniversary. And it's okay to stay, Angela, but stop trying to make it seem like it's something that it's not. Charles Oakley is very set in his ways, and I wouldn't be surprised if you were smiling on the outside and crying on the inside because you are miserable. Moving along, but I just had to really go in on this situation with Charles because I think that every opportunity that he gets in every scene, Charles make Angela look bad. And I believe that he's doing it on purpose because I believe that he is jealous of the fact that Angela is getting all of this attention. She's not on this TV show, and he's used to being the one in the spotlight. And a lot of times when you're a pro basketball player, you're in the spotlight your entire career. So you kind of get used to that. So he is used to being in the spotlight. So now that Angela got the spotlight, I believe Charles is jealous and he feels some kind of way. And that's my opinion. Phaedra is so funny to me. She was so amazed by Kelly's boobs that she had to touch them. Okay. Now, I don't know if she wanted to touch them because she wanted to see if they were real. More than likely, that's what it was. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here. And then when Phaedra said that the alcohol affected Britt so much that one of her nipples were inverted when she got back to the room, Mama Bees, this is for you. That's the classy shade we love, Mama Bees. Okay. And then she said that it popped back out, and Phaedra asked him, was that some kind of magic trick? So Phaedra said, I'm so glad they put me in the room with Angela because I wouldn't have known all of those intimate details about her. And um, I'm sorry, not Angela, Britt Edie. And the thing about that is, you better hope that you don't ever make Phaedra mad, Britt, because she will spill your tea, girl. Phaedra said, I have literally seen her birth canal at this point because she said that at no point does Britt Edie wear a bra or panties. Okay. And Sharon said, it's a shame when women stay with men, even though they're not happy, just to say they are married. Exactly. Angela is only 44 years old. She just recently had a birthday, I believe, and turned 44. She is young. She is beautiful. She is successful. There is no way I would be in a loveless marriage because you got one time to embarrass me in front of others. If there's a conversation that we need to have that behind closed doors. And the way that he's making her look so bad on TV, it's just ridiculous. Anytime they're out of town or whatever the case may be, they always call their husbands. They always call the husband. So Charles was expecting that call. And for him not to answer her call, and then on top of that, and I might be getting ahead of myself, and then on top of that, his voicemail is full. Like, really? It's our anniversary. I'm out of town. Your voicemail should not be full. And Cece said, why do the RHOA ladies have to room together? Do the Beverly Hills, I guess, OCNJ, New Jersey, or former New York ladies ever room together? Now, that I don't know, Cece, because this is the only Real Housewives that I watch. So I don't watch any of those other shows. And let me say this for the people saying that Phaedra didn't deserve to be in the seat that she was in on the reunion stage because she didn't bring anything to the show. At this point, she has only been on 3 episodes. The first episode, she was on the very last 5 minutes, so that does not count. So after that, she was on the one episode because this episode had not played out when people were saying that about the seating chart. Okay. Not only that, she is an OG, so it's all about the respect. She came before all of these ladies except Cynthia, and I believe her and Cynthia came in on the same episode, on the same season. I'm sorry. So they joined around the same time. And Cece said Charles was a bum for not sending Angela flowers at least. That was the bare minimum he could have done. Exactly. You mean to tell me you got this young, beautiful wife and she got to run behind you? No, sir. That would not be happening. So Phaedra was talking about how loud Kelly was. Okay. Kelly is loud. She's hyper. And I have just come to realize people like Kelly are usually always successful because you have to have some sort of crazy to a certain degree to be ambitious enough to go after your dreams. Okay. So I love Kelly's personality. Kelly does not meet a stranger. Okay. She's just an outgoing person, love meeting new people, love getting to know people, love networking. So that's just who she is. Hey, Soundcheck. Thank you so much for being here and listening in the bushes. And guys, if you have not done so already, please like the video. So Kelly is loud, but shout out to the loud girls because that's probably, like I said, how she has become so successful. She already has one restaurant and hopefully she gets everything squared away so that she can open up her second restaurant. Everybody can't be soft and meek. It works for some, but not all. Okay. And Phaedra, let's not judge. Phaedra's whole persona is a wholesome Georgia peach. But Phaedra told a whole explicit lie on Candy. But I still love you, Phaedra, but it is what it is. Okay. Now, when Drew called out the weird energy between Britt and Shamia and clocked that tea, I'm going to need y'all to put some respect on Drew's name because she is bringing it this season. Drew is bringing it this season. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Drew finally made her appearance on Watch What Happens Live. Okay. I guess we made enough noise because I was one of the people that was making noise and I wanted to know why Drew had not appeared on Watch What Happens Live. So she was on the last episode that aired. I only watched a brief few minutes of it when she was singing everybody, describing everybody. Um, so I didn't see the whole thing. I will go back and watch it at some point. And Cece said that Georgia Peach persona is long gone. Okay. And the thing about it is, Phaedra she's just real private. She's real private and she has high standards. And there's nothing wrong with that. Phaedra is not messing with no man who ain't got no bag. You got to at least be making what Phaedra is making or more. And I actually met Phaedra in person before. Phaedra is a little bougie. If I'm just keeping it real in person, Phaedra is bougie. And just watching her on the show, you can probably already tell that. But I like Phaedra. So the two people that's bringing it happen to be friends before the show, and that's Angela and Drew. And Sharon said, Phaedra is going to be Phaedra, and that's what I love. Exactly. Like, Phaedra is made for this. Like, Phaedra can literally do this in her sleep. So I hear that Drew helped Angela get on the show. So I don't know if they sat down and they kind of like talked about like what they were going to do on the show. I don't know if they had like some type of strategy, for this season, but it's just funny how the two people who are really bringing it this season, they're friends in real life. And Cece said Drew was at the BET Awards show last night. She was on stage with the rest of the cast of Run. It's a new Chris Stokes movie. Clawfoot Claudia is in it too. I think I heard Claudia talking about that. I'm gonna have to check it out because if you go on Drew's Instagram, which I was just on there today, Drew has a lot of movies coming out. And we'll talk about that some more later. And Cece said Phaedra looks tiny as much as she calls Kelly tiny. Phaedra is very short. She has very thick thighs, very built, muscular, thick thighs, but Phaedra is very petite outside of, the thighs. And Phaedra can dress her behind off. So all I can say about Drew and Angela is that they understood the assignment. And that's one of the reasons they are the most hated on the show. Now, why was Portia absent for the whole conversation before they headed out on their excursions? The one group was going, for cooking lessons, and the other group was going to the waterfall. Phaedra missed that whole little conversation. Then she came walking out. And for me, is it that Portia is always trying to be fashionably late? Like, does she have to make a grand entrance like on every single episode? Because if that's the case, it wasn't given that. It was given Shein. I don't know if you guys noticed that outfit that Portia had on, but it was really given Shein. So she needs to be on time and hopefully nobody will pay attention because Portia's outfits just have not really been given this season. Like Portia almost looks broke. And I hate to say that because I know that she isn't, but the way Portia has been dressing this season, it's just not, you can just tell them them coins ain't together like they should be. And did y'all hear Portia when she called Phaedra out for being late? When they knew that they were going to be meeting up with the what was he called? Uh I forget what they call the man that they were going to be meeting up with. Anyway, and Portia was just like, okay, well, y'all need to let Drew know because y'all know she be late. I know I be late, but she be later. Baby, if you be late in every scene, I'm gonna need you to just sit there and be quiet and don't say nothing. Because at the end of the day, Portia, you are the one that's always late. Her and Drew both. Bravo producers are so shady. Why did they zone in on Portia's butt, showing all her cellulite and dimples in her behind? They was wrong for that. They were so wrong for that. But you know what? I take that back. Portia was wrong for wearing that, okay? But anyway, now, do y'all think Portia wears butt pads? Because it looked like in that scene where they zoomed in that she didn't have no ass at all. Okay, I don't know because when she have on her clothes, it be giving something different. I'm just saying. So Kelly said that the men in Grenada are fine. So her and Drew stepped up as the single women. And then, Angela had to put her 2 cents in and she said, I ain't blind. And let me just say this, guys. I'm starting to like Angela a little bit because I'm almost starting to feel sorry for her, okay? Um, because it's miserable being with somebody and being in a marriage and still feel lonely. That's how I see Angela. Being married, but still feeling lonely all the time and just not getting that love, affection, and attention that she deserves. And the thing about it, I just wish Angela would check Charles. If I see Angela check Charles one good time, I promise you I'll be Team Angela. I just want her to check that mofo one good time because Angela needs to remember that she is the prize, okay? And on top of that, your husband is a senior citizen, so everything on his body is getting ready to stop working. He's just getting ready to have health issues. Okay. I'm older. I know. Okay. Things go to hurting places you never heard it before. They start hurting. You know what I'm saying? He's getting older. And Charles is in his 60s. And after a while, Angela might find herself being a caregiver. Hey, Paula, thank you so much for being here. So she's gonna go from being the beautiful wife to being a caregiver, and not saying that that's miserable because that's your husband. You should want to take care of him. But let me tell you this: if you don't treat me right while you're well, and whatever the case may be, and then I'm gonna have to end up taking care of you. Okay, if that's what you want. At that point, you might want to go in a nursing home. Because at the end of the day, she need to let Charles know that she is still young and she can recover. And at that point, Charles gonna have to end up falling in love with the nurse at the nursing home. So that waterfall was everything, guys. Like, I don't know what it is about waterfalls, but I love waterfalls. And I love the way that that group of women, which was Phaedra, Cynthia, Portia, and Shamia. And I even like the way that they split up the girls. I love the way that they was taking it all in. That was a beautiful moment that these ladies will probably cherish forever. The ladies letting go and feeling free from their insecurities was very refreshing. And I hope that this scene inspires every woman watching to do the same the next time that they're on vacation. Because sometimes you just want to feel free. You don't want to worry about the flaws on your body. You just want to feel free, wear a bathing suit. It doesn't have to be a two-piece, but just, be comfortable. Now, at this point, I'm starting to see why Britt didn't show up to the reunion. Like, she is starting to come off to the group as annoying, and she's starting to come off as a whiner, which I've been peeped that about Brit, but I call Brit needy in previous videos because that's really how she comes off to me. And for whatever reason, on this trip, like she's coming in very aggressive. And I'm not sure where all of that aggression is coming from. I think somebody must have had a conversation with Brit and told her, like, girl, you need to, you know, you're not really giving. Not that people had seen the episodes. I don't know what it is, but somebody must have gotten into Brit's ear because she had a lot of aggression. And maybe it's because they were calling her out. Don't get me wrong. Now, when everybody kept asking Drew who was black, I was really starting to get annoyed Because why is everybody in Drew's business? But no one knows who none of these ladies are dating. Portia, you are said to be dating another married man. Okay. But of course, you're not going to talk about that because you're still married and going through a divorce. And once again, allegedly, you're sleeping with somebody else's husband. So why are you so concerned about Drew? Phaedra is toying with Apollo's friend, and I'm assuming that's to make Apollo jealous because I don't see Phaedra being serious with that guy. I don't see her being serious with him at all. He just does not strike me as Phaedra's type. Okay. And I feel like the fact that he was Apollo's friend, Phaedra's not going to be with that man. She's just utilizing him to make Apollo jealous and I guess to just be having fun and say she's dating somebody. Shamia, you got so much going on, like trying to have another baby. So I can't see where you even got the time and the energy to worry about who Drew is dating. And Kelly. Kelly is single with 4 kids, a bougie dog, a restaurant, and a ton of mounting debt. So I don't see where she has the time to breathe, much less worry about who someone is dating. And I kind of feel like they're hating on Drew because Drew's divorce isn't even finalized, but Drew has options, okay? Drew is said to have been messing around with I forget her name, but you guys know who she is. She's dating the girl on Basketball Wives. Um I forgot her name too. But anyway, and then on top of having this guy Black as her friend, so Drew has options, okay? She's not ready to settle down, but she does have options. But again, the hate for Drew is real. And let's not forget Cynthia, your new thing, Amsterdam. You have tried to keep him a whole secret. Y'all remember we talked about that on my channel and I showed a few days ago and I showed you guys pictures of Cynthia's man. And Britt, I hear that you are in a lavender marriage. So I'm going to need you to just stay silent at this point before someone puts your whole facade on Front Street. Okay. I'm just saying, mind your business. It was nice to see Shamia get her best friend back, as she said, even if it was just for a moment on the show, because again, we know that currently they're not in a good place. Now, I'm kind of confused. Does Portia like African men or island men? Because I thought it was African men, but I think Portia just like men, period. She just looking for somebody to pay her bills. Did Charles not prove my point when Angela said, "This is our first anniversary being apart. You don't miss me?" Charles' response was, "Okay, really?" Like, he is so freaking annoying. This man could only keep responding, "Okay," sitting there with a full head of gray hair, no shade to, you know, I'm getting up there myself, but I'm just saying, this man has a 44-year-old woman. He has a full head of gray hair, and he got the nerve to make this woman almost feel like she got to run behind him. And Mama B says, I think Portia likes men with money. Absolutely. Portia's definitely a gold digger. Yeah, I just don't get Charles and Angela's relationship. Then she went on to say that she would have rather been there with him. Girl, you better hang up on that ninja and enjoy quality time with the girls because when you're in that type of that type of relationship, hanging out with your friends, that's your only saving grace. Having a good time when you're with your friends. See, that brings me back to the reason why I don't see it for Angela. She got all that smoke for the ladies, but when it comes to that non affectionate, set in his ways husband of hers, she be begging him like he's her last meal, okay? It's their anniversary, and all her husband could leave her with was don't just get into a scuffle with nobody. Like, no, I love yous, nothing. Just straight old people action. And she's only 44, okay? And when Angela tried to take up for Charles by saying that he is used to getting some, bedroom action on their anniversary, again, she revealed a lot. It is almost, it seems like it almost has to be a special occasion for them to have sex. They probably have sex once every 2 to 3 weeks. That's why she be snapping off at those ladies because she got a lot of pent up sexual tension. I got my entire life when Shamia said, I don't want nobody to feel like I'm pressuring them to drink. And Angela said she was being passive aggressive. No, all you have to do is decline. I'm sorry, I meant to say, not Angela, Britt said that Shamia was being passive aggressive. But really, it's that simple. If you are not a drinker and you know your limits, just decline. This is how drama gets started because Britt was saying that Shamia was almost forcing her to drink. Hey Paula, I don't think I said hey to you. And Mama B says, oh, I'm sorry. Cece says, I agree. And TNTG Mom says, I'm embarrassed for Angela. That man is not into her. Okay. And that man should be eating out of the palm of her hands. Okay. So when the ladies arrived to the dinner later that evening and they started conversating about their experiences with the waterfall in the cooking class, that initiated Kelly to thank the ladies for their donations. And Portia said that she had donated $1,000. And Shamia said, you can't pull up with your Birkin, your Rolls Royce, and give 2 rolls of toilet tissue. This is the time when you do your big one. And at that point, I'm pretty sure Britt was starting to feel very uncomfortable because she know that that low key shade was directed right at her. Now, that's when everything started coming together. Why Britt didn't show up at the reunion. And we are not even done yet. We still have more episodes, but it is definitely going downhill for Britt and her cast members. At this point, it's Britt against everybody. The prime minister, that was the word I was trying to think of earlier, guys. So the prime minister of Grenada is arriving, and I'm hoping without the edits, that these ladies didn't make us look crazy. Okay. And I don't care what people say about Phaedra. Phaedra's facial expressions really does it for me. Okay. And her shade just hit different. The anniversary cake for Angela, that was very sweet because Angela was looking like a sad puppy dog. Like, girl, you're in the beautiful Grenada and you worried about what that old man doing? Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Sad. So I think at that point, Angela started realizing that she really does need to form a bond with this group of ladies to get the emotional support that she needs because she's definitely not getting it from her husband. See, that's what makes me, you know, And Charles, that's what makes Charles Oakley type, you know, really get up under my skin because I feel like he's insecure and I feel like he's intimidated and already starting to show that he's jealous of the fact that Angela is on this show. Now, Shamia, I always give Shamia grace because you never know what she's dealing with behind closed doors, having a sick baby. Okay. So when she does get the opportunity to have some girl time, I really want Shamia to be able to disconnect and really enjoy the moment. But that has to be hard to do when she's going to check in on her husband and the kids. And for whatever reason, she always seemed to get bad news. And Cece said, I hope he's not pulling a Kelsey grandma, having his wife on the show to then move on. Girl, I see divorce in their future. I really truly see divorce in their future. So here's my thing. When Shamia called her husband, if that had been me, if that had been my husband or whatever, it was his wife. When she called me, I would not have spoke about what was going on at home. I would have dealt with that situation. They have plenty of support. They have family members. He could have called a family member, but I would not give Shamia bad news while she's on vacation. Let her enjoy her time. Let her enjoy her vacation. Deal with the situation and let her enjoy herself. This is the second time that she has been on a trip and she got bad news and she started to cry. I know some of you good mummies are going to be like, no, I want to know what's going on with my babies. If my baby is not in, a dire situation or whatever the case may be, if it's something that you can handle it, please handle it. Don't give me bad news while I'm on vacation because it ruins your trip. And not only does it put a damper on the trip for you, it also puts a damper on the trip for the other ladies because at that point they had to console Shamia. He said he was going to handle it. So why couldn't he just have handled it and not mentioned it to her until she got back? I'm just saying. It was sad for a moment, but Brit of all people turned everything around with a shot of tequila and a few boob shots. The ladies were highly entertained because apparently Brit has a nice body, according to, I believe it was Phaedra, somebody. And I guess this is when the after party begins, when the camera crew leaves and, they shut it down for the night. Okay. So let me just read a couple of comments. Cece said, another Cece question if Gerald calls Shamia when she's gone as a guilt tactic. I absolutely believe that's exactly where I'm going with this, Cece. Why did he call her? He could have just handled the situation. These men are low key jealous. Even though, he pretended like he was in support of her finally getting her peach, he wanted her to feel guilty. I totally agree with that. Hey, Connect. She says, Angela and Drew is so much alike. Always get mad when people them on a spot. So when people put them on the spot, gotcha. And Cece said, my husband was able to deal with our kids my whole career when I traveled extensively. If he needed any help, our mothers were there. The only time he had to call me real time was due to a hurricane. Exactly. So you get where I'm going, Cece. But guys, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. If you did not like the video on the way in, please like the video on the way out. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Thank you guys so much for watching and bye for now.